We met online.
And she took me up on my proposition, got on a plane, and flew over to meet me.
My friends thought I had gone nuts, taking a plane to meet this person I had never met before.
Here we are, 14 years later, making a baby.
Our friends don't think we're nuts anymore.
Let me tell you how to get pregnant at Canadian clinics. If you want to use fresh sperm, the semen regulations state that it must come from your sexual partner. Or if you want to use a known donor, no problem. But the sperm must be frozen for 6 months before it can be accessed. And you are required to pay for this service. But if you want your sperm donor to be a gay man, that is, a man that has sex with other men, you are going to need special permission from Health Canada.
It doesn't matter who you're married to, it only matters that you're sexually active with the person who's providing your sperm. We don't need to know it's a lie.
Just tell me that you're having a threesome.
Tell the doctor he is your sexual partner. It's really not a big deal.
Carole, Hebert, and George Santos?
Yes.
Yes, Jorge.
Oh, hello. And how do you fit into the picture?
I'm a close family friend, Jeanne.
We are going to be looking at some delicate information. Would you like for your friend to be present?
We prefer for her to be here.
All right. Jorge, Carole, we are going to set you up for some tests so we can get a better picture of what's going on here. How long have you been trying to get pregnant? Do you time your intercourse around your ovulation? Have you had any injury to your pelvic area or testicles? Have you noticed anything abnormal with your ejaculations or erections?
Excuse me, could you tell us a little bit more about the overall process, generally?
Yes. I'm going to finish asking Jorge and Carole some questions. Then I'm going to set you up, Carole, with a blood test and an ultrasound, and you'll both need to be tested for HIV and other sexually transmitted infections.
We've had all our tests done. We have the results right here. We also had all of our fertility tests done with our regular GP, all in the last month.
Well, I don't mind taking all these, but our clinic will need to run the test again for our own records.
Well, how many visits do you anticipate us having to make? Because it's very hard coordinating 3 busy schedules.
For most of the procedures, I'll only really need Carole here.
I'll be here for every visit.
Is it really necessary to repeat all of the tests?
Yes, I'm afraid it is.
Well, this really adds a lot of time to the process.
As sexual partners, you're in a really great position. Better place than some people. You can forego the fertility counseling for donor sperm and no need for sperm quarantine, which would add another 6 months to the process. Not to mention getting special permission from Health Canada if your sperm donor is gay. Get what I'm saying? So let's get started. I'll show you the semen collection room, and Carole will do the blood work today. You can do the ultrasound next visit. Just this way.
This is our baby, and I'm being sidelined. I hate feeling invisible, unacknowledged.
Honey, you were right here beside me.
She wasn't even going to let me stay in the office. I'm finding this really hard.
I know, baby, I'm sorry. This is hard for me too, but it's just until we get pregnant.
Yeah.
Okay, so those magazines I gave you for inspiration are wonderful if you're into women. Like 30 magazines with these hot, sexy women on the cover. God, just having them on the table was a distraction. I couldn't do it. I hate being back in the closet again.
Oh, Jorge, I'm sorry. But she knows. Didn't you just hear her? Let's just do what she's asking us. She was warning us that it's going to be so much longer and more expensive if we come out. So much worse.
Look, Carol, you know I love you. You two mean the world to me. But this is a lot more complicated than I expected. The lying, the being back in the closet. I've worked really long and hard to be proud of who I am. I don't think I can do this.
Jorge?
Why can't we just sign a waiver, you know? We did the STI check. Why can't we just show the paper with the date that was yesterday and sign a waiver so the clinic's no longer liable? It's our choice. Is this not our choice? Like, this should be our choice, you know?
I wasn't feeling like, I can't believe you're telling us to lie. I was feeling like, thank you, you know, for telling us how this works.
But I just don't understand what makes the husband so trustworthy. That's what I want to know. The assumption, you know, that relationships between the two are truthful and that no one's lying to each other and, you know, everyone's monogamous.
It does seem like a funny double standard. When really, I could go into any old bar on a Saturday night and be like, okay, I'm gonna sleep with this person. Versus we asked our friend to have STI test done and he did.
I mean, I constantly kind of have it on my mind. What if someone takes my baby away?
One of the first things that I noticed was just the awkwardness of when they all walked in the room together and there were only 2 chairs in the doctor's offices. And that happened to us a number of times. And part of it was just about the cramped quarters of the particular fertility clinic. But just the awkwardness of recognizing the number of people that are involved in a particular situation and being prepared for it.
I'm a little surprised about that rule of getting Health Canada's permission to take sperm from a gay man. It seems like something out of the Middle Ages.
When we had our first baby, we did not have to freeze the sperm, and I don't know if that's because it was overlooked or what. The second time that we went around, the clinic said that we did have to freeze the sperm, and that was the first and only time that we had a bit of a back and forth over feeling like there was something different about us versus everybody else.
The main reason we wanted to use a clinic was, number one, just for the discomfort, because we aren't sexual partners. There's a lot of intimacies we were going to share, but a home insemination, you know, we have to think about risk for, you know, sharing STIs and what have you.
It was challenging for us to accept that we would have to freeze for a particular period of time. And freezing, you know, you worry once the sperm is frozen, is it going to be okay once it's not frozen? What is that doing to the ability to produce an embryo? On top of well, why are you doing that to me? And what does make you think that the straight couple, that the guy isn't cheating, or that she doesn't have HIV, or whatever? It doesn't seem, it's definitely not consistent, and it is hugely unfair.
Specifically with known donors, you are likely going to have to hide your relationship. You are likely going to have to, if you want to get through the process easily and quickly, you are going to have to lie about how you are conceiving this child. And for some people, these are deep feelings. I'm going to have to pretend that I'm having sex with a man. That's really, really uncomfortable for a lot of people.
But it turned out it was such a nightmare. We kept on getting the runaround. We were so frustrated with the whole process and lying and having to be deceitful and play all these ridiculous games when everybody knew what was going on.
So when it comes time to do the sperm donation, they send you into a room and you are supposed to perform. That was my partner who was doing that, and he said the exact same thing that the person in the video said when they came back, that it was, everything in there was heterosexual. So it was challenging to get in the zone.
What made the experience the best one for me out of all of the experiences was that he was a real human being. He touched me. He sat with me. When I cried, he felt sadness. He got it. Like, he understood what was happening here. He acknowledged my partner as my partner. He acknowledged the scenario as two people trying to have a baby and it wasn't working.
And I know how I would react if that had happened to us, if we had walked into a room and someone thought, well, because he's giving the sperm and she's giving the eggs, that this guy over here isn't really necessarily part of the process. So I was attuned to being sensitive to that, and luckily it didn't happen to me. But I can understand the anxiety and frustration that would cause someone.
making a family should be a beautiful, fun experience. It should be wonderful to make a child. And it wasn't at the clinic, but it was at home.
I want to be treated like the next person, equal, you know? Not being pathologized or looked down upon. I want to be in a place that recognizes me as human, not like something is wrong with me.
Make it more geographically accessible.
Financial accessibility. OHIP should be covering assisted reproduction.
Don't assume I'm infertile.
Don't assume I have a wife.
Don't assume I have a husband.
Please just don't make any assumptions.
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 Let us tell you who we consider part of our family.
Be honest about what you don't know.
Ask us questions in a respectful manner.
And listen to our answers. Learn about how queer families have children.
How about some gender-neutral washrooms?
Address systemic barriers.
This is one of the most important moments in our lives.
Celebrate with us.
Celebrate with us.
Celebrate with us.